welcome, family, to Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly, truly on your own terms. We really want to just thank every single person that has subscribed to the channel, that has continued, that has been with us from day one and continues to just give us all the love and the energy and the confirmation that what the Spirit is using me as a messenger to deliver to you is really impacting your life as much as it's impacting my own. Special shout out, of course, to our Patreon family. We appreciate, love you so much as well. And everyone who has donated to us through PayPal. It's so important, family, because, you know, there's been so much warfare on this channel, and you guys have really helped us to just maintain and keep doing what we need to do. So one of the questions that I got from a youngin', actually, he was asking, how do we start to create our own narrative, you know? And he was like, Dr. Mumbi, you're always talking about creating your own narrative, etc., etc. How do we even like get into the space of start to do that? And so I thought I'd cover that question. Such a good question. And family, what it is about changing your mindset. That's the most important works. And the first step is you have to create a new foundation for yourself in terms of what you believe you are, who you believe you are, who you believe this world is, what you believe is really going on. And that will only happen by listening to alternative narratives, alternative news. And then you'll start to see how we're literally living in a matrix, in like a false narrative, a false reality. And the way to do that, beloveds, is to first acknowledge that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, which most likely means this is not your first human experience. You've been here before, and many of you may choose to come back here again. So it's so important. And once you realize you're a spiritual being having a human experience, then you'll start to see the many lies that have tried to entrap you in your humanity so that you could not access your spiritual self. So you really have to look into those deeper mysteries, those deeper stories. There's actually a book I shared on Patreon. We're doing this thing where we're sharing a book a week, The Pagan Origins of Christ and Christianity. This is the kind of knowledge you have to get into. And, you know, they are scrubbing the internet, family. But for now, you can actually, you know, research. Don't rely too much on Google. Try DuckDuckGo. I don't know why, especially here in Africa, there's so many websites that, or maybe it's, I don't know if it's Apple or Google, but there's a lot of, you know, inaccessible articles, etc., etc. So family, get yourself that knowledge. But what is the biggest question for you at this time? What's that fundamental question? There's a show I did on what's your fundamental lie that's holding you. For many, is you need to understand the nature of the Most High, the nature of this system that's been created by religion, by politics. As you're looking into building a foundation for your history, you should also look into some of the things that have been planned for such a time as this, or you may even want to start there. Look into Agenda 21, New World Order, Illuminati, the 13 families that run the world, etc., etc., etc. Look into that, the reptilian agenda. And there's still a lot of information online, but you have to become a great researcher and investigator so that you can start to break the foundation, because you can't replace a foundation on top of another foundation. This needs to go. And the thing is, it crumbles so easily once you see one narrative or the other. And that leads me to my second point. It's so important to really understand the power of narratives. That as spiritual beings having this human experience, most of us create our experience in our dream state, where there's many things we hold on to, tie onto, and that's where the manipulation has been. But we need to be aware that we have a hand in what is happening in our lives, and what we see outside of us is literally reflecting what's going on inside of us. And that's why the great works is the works on ourselves, the works within ourselves. Because the only way to change the world is to change what's inside of you. So when you start to create that new foundation for yourself by seeing how they've lied about the past and what they're trying to predictively program into humanity for the future, and how some people will go that way and will create that narrative for them, and there will be that world that exists, but that will literally be like hell. But we're bringing in heaven on earth. And once you do that, family, another immediate step is to connect to your spiritual team. To recognize that you have spiritual guardian angels. That's where most people start, with their guardian angels. But apart from that, your ancestors, your bloodlines, who many have been forced to shun, or their parents shunned, or there was a disconnect at some point. You need to reconnect to them. Learn to identify them, learn to know them, and that takes spiritual attunement. And that is totally within your power, within your grasp, within your whatever you have around you right now. You can achieve that. But it takes tuning into the right frequency, and that will happen through spiritual baths. That's why I talk about how it's so important, beloveds, to detox and clear yourself, and work on even like the physical clearing. Do sage baths, which just means taking sage and just clearing your aura. Spiritual baths. Get into a spiritual practice. For me, it's heavily with candles and water. But I found in that it's engaged me. It's taken me out of, it took me out of the religious psychosis. I've been out of it for a while. But it's taken me into a whole new space, and it opens up things. But it's all about learning to hear the voice of your spiritual team. And your spiritual team is even changing right now, because we're in a new world, we're in a new reality. So a lot of those older members of our spiritual team had to fall back. I'll probably do a separate show on that. But learn to hear your spiritual team. And to be honest, if you learn to hear your spiritual team, that will accelerate your awakening more than any research, more than any reading, it will accelerate it so much. Teachers that are in your bloodline will come on board and naturally lead you to the right information that you need at that time to unlock you. Everything just, you get fast-tracked. The minute you get that spiritual connection, you're fast-tracked and things start moving awesomely fast. The only thing that slows you down are the mental blocks of, it can't happen, That's the only thing that will slow you down. But for me, if you concentrate on those two things, changing the narrative of your life by looking at what happened in the past and what's going on in the future, recognizing you're a spiritual being, having a human experience, actually that's number one, and then connecting to your spiritual team, those are the basics. And that's literally all you need to call in a new beginning into your life. That's all you need to change your life, family. Because we change our lives from the inside out. You can change your life from poverty to wealth from the inside out. That's all you need. And of course, there are now advanced steps of what you can do. And I did mention spiritual baths as well. That's really critical to kind of clear your vibe, clear your aura. Even if you were to take a sacred tree and just, I said sage, but put the smoke all around you to kind of clear your energies. Try and clear your energies. Clean your space. That's an important one, because your space reflects your energy. It reflects everything outside of you, reflects what's inside of you. And in doing these things and refining yourself, family, you will change your world with your own power, with yourself. You will not need to go to no guru, no master. Everyone has keys for us that take us to the next level. But a lot of the information and everything is just trapped inside of us, family. Let me know if you want me to get into like the advanced steps that you need to be getting into. That's more about rituals, more about, certain chanting, etc., etc. Until next time, tuko pamoja. Wake up, Africa!